Good morning. Have you ever felt you're giving it your all in whatever you're trying to succeed in, but for some reason, once you do that, everything starts going haywire? It's like the price you pay for transformation. We're going to talk about the 5 W's and why pure intention leads to disruption in personal development or in business. See, this is why I love what I do, because everything is one. If you learn to look at everything as one, your business and you is all the same. If you are the creator of your business, then it's only going to reflect your subconscious values. This reality is only your reality. It's only a mirror of your internal system, your values, your beliefs, your habits, your emotional triggers or thoughts with like emotional intensity. So it's only a mirror. Anything that comes from you or it's around you, it's only a mirror. It's like the lens through which you see the world through, which is inside of you first to see it. So this is the 5 W's of you or your business. We could talk about the who, like the who, the what, the when, the where, and the why. The who. This has to do with your frequency. I have a system for the founder's frequency, which is mostly in on the road or in the direction of business. But when I say this, again, when I say this, this all comes back to you. That's why it's also personal development. The who. Pure intention leads to disruption. Just remember that that's what we're talking about. We could start like this. I actually seen something come across my feed. His name was Alex Hormozy. I guess he talks about business a lot. Like what he said was like impeccable. He was talking about like the cost of change in your business. Soon as you trying to make a change within your business, this could be like bringing on an investor, a consultant, and he brings a new idea to help you generate more money, more income, more profits. Rearrange your systems. What he said was beautiful. He was talking about if your business is at a certain level and that change is introduced, you would, I think 90% of the time, do a 20% decline soon as you try to make that change. Your goal, your aim is to get a 5% of more of a return in income. But due to that change, you're gonna make a 20% decline before you actually come up and make that 5% change, of increase in income. This is the same thing internally in personal development. He also said, just to finish off what he said, what he said was impeccable. He won't make that change because there's a 50-50 chance of that input becoming an output. Meaning, it's hit or miss. So if it's hit or miss, if it's not a 40% return, he won't make that change because that change of that 5% will automatically happen on its own if you leave your team alone. Like, I was actually, I wanted to come up here, but I needed some free time to come up here. I had to make some free time for this. And it came across my feed. It was actually like associated with what I wanted to say because I'm actually dealing with clients that go through that, and I actually help them with that. And it's funny because everything that you're trying to teach, you're actually going through. So don't get lost, don't get deceived of a person having all the answers. You have all the answers as well. People often say you just don't know what you don't know. The unknowns of the unknowns. There's hidden things that you should know. But this goes, what Alex Hormozy was saying was, pure intention leads to disruption. So let's start with the who. It's all about your frequency, your beliefs, your rooted beliefs, your foundation. Your frequency is like tuning in a radio. Like you looking, so you tune yourself like a guitar. You got to tune it to make the right sounds. You tune in, which means it's like a space. I don't read the Bible as often as I should, but I skim through it here and there. My extended family is religious. I didn't grow up in a somewhat religious family, immediate family, but the Bible's been discussed. And things always stick with me. For some reason, even if I'm just flying by or just subconsciously or just paying attention, it's not conscious. It's like it sticks with me and it comes back up in my mind. So we're talking about the who. It's just so much to say. And try to make it as clear as possible. The who, the frequency. You got to tune in. You can't just do and expect, because you're working backwards if you want to become something. It's funny because in order to become is in the word. You have to be like your frequency. You have to have conviction. Any thoughts that have an emotional, intensified feeling, that's your frequency. That's part of your frequency. How true you are, your belt of truth, which has to do with you, how you believe, how you perceive, your perspective, the experiences that you went through. Because in business, your business will only reflect how you truly feel, or it'll expose your wounds. So your belt of truth, this is about your frequency, your who you are. So I got kind of lost, but your belt of truth. If pure intention leads to disruption, I wish I had a rubber band. You pull it. Or I remember where we was at, but let me show you this visual. I don't have the rubber band, but you pull a rubber band back. Your intention. This is the cost of, or the price you pay, the entry fee, when you want to transform or sacrifice a lower you for a better you. In business, to get more income, you have to, is a mindset thing. You have to tune into the right frequency. You making 10K a month and you want to make 20K. You won't make 20K unless you change the way you think about how you are already making 5K or 10K. So your intention. When your intention and that rubber band is all the way back, that's tension, that's friction, that's resistance. You're going to meet that. And guess what? That's a principle that's unescapable. You can't escape that principle of the universe that we live in. And that's why when you're trying to change in personal development or in your business, you're going to make that 20% decline. But how you perceive that and not knowing that will automatically give you an emotional trigger like, this isn't working. Why is it not working? And then that's what you would start projecting again. You'll start creating that reality within your business, not understanding that that's the principle of this universe. So is your conviction the belt of truth that you have into why you're doing this, why you really want to do this? Is it just for income? You want to make that change? Or is it to be better than you was yesterday? And you really have to stay focused, which is your vibration. Your vibration has to be locked in, your concentration. Okay, pure intention leads to disruption. Your intention is pure. It's intention. So you got to go back. You're going back to your roots. And through all those levels, through all those layers of friction and pulling, it's parts of you that you have to adjust. Your beliefs, your values, subconscious values. Back to the Bible thing. Something came across, even when, this is when I was little. I don't know where it's at. Somebody can help me. In the Bible, it says, I guess Jesus or God told him, occupy until I come. That always stuck with me. Occupy until I come. This has to do with your frequency. You should occupy a space. We all occupy a space with our frequency. So you gotta, is spaces here. You gotta fill a void. And how you fill that void, fill it, is with intention, pure intention. Who you really are. Your belief systems. Go back to what I was saying in the beginning. Your belief systems, your frequency, your vibration. And how you handle that space that you occupy. And you have to have conviction in that and keep going in that path. No matter what happens out here, hold on to your frequency. Faith. But it's really a knowing, an understanding. That's the who. The what. The what. what you really doing this for. See, it's all one. It's not separate. These 5 W's are all one. If you really want to dissect them, they all go back to one. But what disruption are you facing? You facing the disruption, what I said in the beginning, of all the prior yous, all the hidden agendas or values that you got. You want me to give you an example of a subconscious value? All right, you might have a consulting business, right? This is very important, and I want you guys to listen to it. Because you could associate it to business or you. This is a subconscious value, and this is what gets exposed out here. This is what happens to you or your team, or you personally in your business as a founder, as a CEO. This is an example of a subconscious value. The validation through helping others. So you always like helping others, putting out fires for everybody. Like, helping them with their problems, and always feel a need to give people advice even if they didn't ask for it. Subconsciously, though. This is the value. Subconsciously, you want validation, or you need to feel worthy. You want to feel important because you never was. It's kind of spooky. It's kind of spooky because that's the truth. And when you're changing, we're going to get to the why. It goes back to the why. But that's the what. And the what shouldn't change. I mean, the what changes. Excuse me. The what changes because it's layers. So it's like, it's not ironic that that it's not a coincidence that the word what has the word hat in it, because it's many hats. It's really illusions or walls that you created of like belief systems, like lies that's associated to who you are. Beliefs like your circle, planted ideas and things that made you believe things that are not, incongruent with who you really are. I gave you an idea of a subconscious value, but that's like the what. So you really have to go down to the root. The reality will show you a disruption that you like, well, where did this come from? Like, oh, what the fuck is this? Like, you ask, like, what is this? That's the what. But it wears many hats, so it's kind of tricky because it doesn't show you the root, and you will have to dig deep enough to find that. So that was the what, right? The when. The when is associated to your past and your future, because it's like, when did this happen? That's the past. So if I do this, when is it going to change? It's the future. But it's all happening right now. It's not separate. See it all as one. It's happening now. You could become now. Which is, you could tune in and do that now by going into your roots in the present time, going into your roots and affecting your future, your destiny, whatever you want, your goal, your outcome. You got to tune in. That's the only way. Tune into your frequency. That's to the highest frequency, to the highest level of awareness. But these illusions out here whether it's you or your business, within your team, is it just a mirror of you, because you're the creator, the when. So when you should go back is when you see these little tiny disruptions or these emotional triggers that are trying to change your frequency, because it's when did you develop this belief or this lie or this value. You have to go back to that or go to that. I'm not going to necessarily say back because it's all one piece. It's not good or bad. It's not. Just look at it as one. It's happening now. That's the when. Hey, let's do it again. I just love what I do because it's all together. And I wouldn't call myself a wordsmith, but a lot of people, I'm good with words. It's not a coincidence that the word when has hen, like a hen lays eggs. Is what you created. You created something, and you got to know when. When did you create it, and when it's gonna hatch? So, it's gonna hatch. It's gonna be projected in your reality. Let's talk about the where. Where in your timeline is this going to happen, like this 20% decline or this disruption? Pure intention leads to disruption. When? Or where? Where? It happens when you are changing, transforming. When you actually tell yourself, I'm going to do this better. I'm going to change this. The disruption starts. Because you actually have to adjust those belief systems to see the outcome, to get the fruits from your tree. You have to go into the roots. So it happens. That's when it happens. Okay, so that's where it happens. But we could talk about where is not really an issue, because where is going to take you to your where, to whatever your goal is. But let's talk about the where, not necessarily the clothes you wear, but it has to do with the armor of God. The faith you got, that armor is an armor. It's like a suit. It's like a golden fleece. It's like a belt of truth. So that where goes back to your who, to your frequency, the founder's frequency, to in personal development, your frequency, your belief systems, the conviction you got, the lens in which you see the world through, because that makes you become somebody. So that's your where. It's not necessarily like where, but we can go where. It'll take you to your outcome. But it's what you wear, and not necessarily the clothes you wear, but it's the armor of God. I forgot where it says that in the Bible. But if you read, I like to read the Bible like that. Not through like names and things of that nature. Is more of a subconscious internal thing. So I believe it's one of the greatest books ever. I wouldn't say how other people read it is wrong. I just read it a certain way. The how, that's what my clients pay for. The how to, because look, that's a principle. You're going to meet that disruption. It's inevitable. That's a principle, meaning that those are laws of the universe, of this universe that you in, or this matrix that you can't escape. You could cure yourself from it, from actually feeling the things that happen. So when you're in intention and all this disruption is happening, it has to do now with your attention. How much attention are you giving to this problem? Because that intention has to do with the intention, the vibration of it. But how you stand firm in your belt of truth, how you stand your ground, which has to do why are you doing this, will supersede that resistance that you're facing. But if that resistance, if that thing that you want or you desire within your business or you is not pure enough, then that resistance will always win. So yeah, those are the 5 W's. I'll leave the how for another video. I'll leave the house somewhere else. And yeah, tomorrow's Memorial Day. So remember you. Remember everything or everybody that you come across in your life, because it's a piece of you. You're not separate. Everybody else is a version of you. Or, I don't know if you think like that, but yeah. So those are the 5 W's of you and your business. Pure intention leads to disruption.